Your voice is little bit low.
Okay, yeah. Is it better now?
Yeah. It's good, right?
I can increase the volume, no issues.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So, yesterday we looked at the strings, we were looking at various methods. Okay, I have listed down all the methods available for strings here.
Mm-hmm.
So, we will be looking at those, continue from where we left off. So, these are the same methods that I have added here. Okay, and one thing to notice from yesterday, what we saw, any method that you apply on a string, no, the
Mm-hmm.
original value does not change. Okay, for example, we saw that we applied uh, len of city or city dot count or capitalize, right? It will
Mm-hmm.
capitalize, but your original value that was stored in the city, that will not change. Okay, so that is something you need to remember. um,
Okay.
okay, so yesterday we had some issues with the center, so I figured it out. We were passing a low value here, basically. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, even I tried
Yeah,
to I tried to do I also found that.
yeah. So basically, what center is doing is it is
Mm-hmm.
trying to add spaces on left and right side of these words. So that's why you see so much space is created. So basically, center and L-just and R-just. These are justification methods. So L-just is also there, left justification, and also center. Okay, returns a centers. So these are for aligning the strings, basically, all those three.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, so we will look at the encoding. Okay, now even before going to encode, so I think I still have city here. Okay, so even before going to encode, so I wanted to explain a little bit on the encoding part. Basically, encoding is nothing but, in order to make a computer understand, you will have to assign some numbers to each and every value. Okay, so basically, how many values are there? We have numbers from 0 to 9. Okay, and then you have small letters to cap A to Z, small letters, capital letters. We have A to Z, and then you have all your special characters. So all these total, whatever the number comes down to, so all these things need to be assigned a certain number for a computer to understand. So okay, so if you see here, decimal numbers 0 to 10 have these values, binary values, right? And they have their own numbers assigned, and we call it formats. Okay, I will show you here. Okay, here. So this is what you see. What you are seeing here are ASCII characters. Okay, so we have different methods of assigning these numbers. So as per ASCII, okay, what they have done is, from 0 to 31 they have assigned it to non-printable characters. Okay, 32 to 64 they have assigned it to punctuation symbols, special characters, all of those. 65 to 90 they have assigned uppercase English letters. 91 to 96 likewise they have assigned it to some brackets and slashes. Likewise, you see lower English alphabets, additional brackets, and few other numbers. So each time you try to type something on your keyboard, let's just say you typed this square bracket, what happens is, in the ASCII format, a number is, the whatever the corresponding number is, that is being converted to your binary form, and that binary form is being sent to your assembly language. Actually, through compiler it goes to assembly language conversion, and assembly language is anyway understood by your CPU. Okay, so there are three stages of conversion here. One, these number conversion. These number conversions are again picked up by whatever compiler or interpreter, and that interpreter is going to talk to assembler basically, um, and that is going to talk to your CPU basically. That is how these encodings, we call them encodings, assigning of these numbers to various characters, we call them as encodings. Okay, so what you see here is ASCII encoding. Likewise, we have lot of different ways of encodings, like UTF-8. Okay, so that is a very famous one. UTF-8 encoding is a very famous one, and mainly it is used in data analysis. You also have something like um, Latin Latin ones. Okay, were used by various other um, eh, non-English languages. For example, if you want to code something in Portuguese or Spanish, mainly Spanish, so you use Latin. Okay, so these are some encoding examples. Okay, you can find out more on that encodings. Okay, so these encodings is what we are going to talk about now. This encode method, it returns an encoded version of string. Okay, we will look at it. So city comma city dot encode. So if you see, what it does is, by default, even if you don't pass anything, UTF-8 is already assigned. Okay, whatever is assigned with a equal symbol, it means if you don't deliberately pass the value, it is going to take that default UTF-8 value. And errors are strict, which means it is going to return error if there is any Unicode encoding error. Okay, so I will be showing this mainly if you use this option encode, whatever the encode option is. Okay, so whatever the encode option is, this we will extensively use when we read the data from pandas. Okay, there I will show you, but here you just understand this encode is nothing but it's only adding some sort of encoding. In this case, UTF-8 is being used. Okay, but there are other methodologies. Let's just say this city variable was holding some Spanish values, then the encoding would change. Okay, so Spanish, as in Spanish language, they write n in a different way with n cap or something. I won't be able to type it here. Uh, okay, but you can look it up. For example, you have this word mañana. Okay, so in English it is called as manana. Okay, so it means nothing. I mean, there is no meaning to that word in English. But if you look it up in Spanish, it refers to apple. Okay, apple means mañana. Hope I'm right. I learned it long back. My Spanish is kind of broken. Yeah, manzana. I'm sorry, I forgot. Okay, so manzana, whatever the thing is, but this n is there, right? This this n and this n, they are written in a different way with a cap. Okay, it is also not being shown here, but they're written with caps. So all those caps, displaying of those caps and making the interpreter and compiler to understand that this is not a normal n but a rather a Spanish n, that is handled using these encodings. For example, if I pass a encoding as let's just say encoding equals to Latin. Okay, so here it does nothing because even in Latin there are no Latin letters, right? So only if you write Latin letters, you will be able to get a different display of output. But you just understand the concept for now. We will use this when we read the data from pandas. Okay, in your data analysis section where I'll teach you, there we will learn. For now, you just remember that much. That encode is helps us in reading data better way, um, wherever different special symbols are available. Okay, ends with is very interesting, and I have I tell you, I very recently also I use this um, in my company to catch hold of some exceptions. So basically, ends with is so if I say I want to know if something ends with certain things, okay, it will return true or false. So in city I have this. If I say does the city end with puram, it will return true. So basically, if you want to check something ending with this, then you'll make use of ends with. And I can even tell you, so because you'll be interacting with a lot of cloud providers, might be GCP, Azure, lot of technologies are available. So wherever you want to check certain things, for example, very recently I was checking if API ends with google apis.com, apis.com. Okay, so for example, the API, one of the API was dataflow, dataflow.googleaps.com. Now we want users to enter a proper proper API value. Okay, so for that, what I did was I just used uh, a very simple statement: if API dot ends with, okay, certain thing. So if it ends with .google dot com, then I did. I will just write pass here, but I went on to continue with my logic. Okay, so okay, return it doesn't work. uh, Ideally it should return outside the function. Okay, all right, no worries. So I'll just print. So okay, fine. Okay, this I'll have to type to API, and then I will see API. Okay, it has to be a string as well. Okay, now it returns true. Okay, so the thing is, ends with is a method that you will extensively use. Ends with, starts with, likewise you have starts with here somewhere. So starts with, okay, so starts with will tell you the same thing, except that it is in the beginning. So if I say does city dot starts with, so basically we're asking the Python to check if it starts with Ganga or Gang, whatever. So in the starting of the letters it will be checking. Okay, so likewise, one of the things, one brief example I'm giving you, starts with, you can check if a person's name starts with certain so and so, or if a place name starts with so and so, then you can execute, write your own logic here, whatever you want to write, basis on that. Okay, so this is starts with, and the next thing is expand tabs. Okay, so basically, by default, this I won't be showing much. Okay, but anyway, let me try. So extend tabs is, see, by default, if you hit tab on your keyboard, which you can try now. Okay, and if you see, in order to, okay, type a comma after hit a tab, you type a comma, enter. Now press number of spaces, 1 2 3 4, and then press comma. So first hit a tab and then type comma, and then in order to reach the same exact place, check how many times you will have to type the space. So by default, 4 spaces are required to get a tab in Python. Okay, now what this tabs does is, expand tabs, it just sets the tab size of the string, it increases that size basically. Okay, for example, if I say city dot extends tab. Okay, so it returns a copy where all the tab characters are expanded using spaces. So by default here the tab size is 8. Okay, let me try that. Okay, here it is not, because there is no space provided, it's a one single word. But if you had something like highway, okay, here also there are no spaces, because it's starting with no space, right? So that's why. Okay, anyway, so this you just understand that it just adds that tab characters. Okay, wherever spaces are there, it will increase that size, tab size. That is what extend tabs. I have not come across even a single use case where I have used this, to be honest. um, yeah, okay. And find is extreme. Okay, moving on. So find is extremely important. So I keep telling this, so it's very very helpful. um, let's just say I have some paragraph. Okay, I actually ran this in the morning, that's why it's saved. But anyway, I will reassign in front of you. Okay, so para holds some values. These are random values, don't worry what is there here, but para has some values. So for para, if I type, if I want to find something within that paragraph, let's just say the word is, how many times is there. Okay, now what this is returning is the index at which that is available. So if you start counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that way by the time you reach here it would be 36. Okay, it returns index of the um, results, and if it doesn't find anything, then it returns nothing. Okay, so that is what find is for. Now format is again very important, I would say, in a unique way. Okay, so format is, let's just say, I want to print the city. Okay, I get the city name, right? But let's just say I want to print is the biggest city. Now I have to pass this entire thing as a string. Okay, okay, let me type it first. I will show you. Okay, so what format is doing is, if I want to insert certain variable, maybe city or highway, whatever, in a sentence, in a plain sentence, it allows me to insert that value by making use of this brackets, curly brackets. So if I specify curly brackets, and then I can type whatever I want, and then if I add that method as format and pass the value I want, whatever I want there, it will print it. Okay, format is only used to print whatever the variables are required to be passed. Okay, so that is the use of format. Now this thing, interestingly, we also have something called f strings. Okay, what it means is, if you don't want to use format, you just type f. Okay, you remove this entire thing, format. This also you can remove, this also you can remove, and directly insert that city there. This is much easier to read. So you can directly make, but you will have to make the interpreter understand that this is a f string. Okay, so that's why you have passed there f, and now if you print, you get the same result. Okay, now the why we prefer this method over this formatting method is, let's just say you had to display 100 values. You can't keep typing format comma abc comma dvc, whatever the values are, you can't keep typing, right? So you can't type 100 values there. So instead, programmatically, if you want to handle, you can directly pass those values here in this brackets. Okay, that is much more readable and easier to do. You don't get confused when doing that. So that is the idea here. um, okay, that is about format. Now, are you also typing alongside with me? Maybe I'm going fast, right? So you're not getting time to type. Is that the case?
Yeah, Sadik.
Okay, okay, all right. So I'll slow down. You can go ahead and type and test it. So try with this. Okay, try with the center. From center is where we started. Try this center. Then don't worry about the encoding thing. It's anyway not gonna give you um, actual results. You can try with starts with, then
For
try,
encoding,
hmm?
it's saying that before the word it's having B, right? So
Hmm.
what does it mean? It does mean for binary or
No, no. So this encoding is just a indication. Okay, indication that the code is encoded basically. How
okay,
do you
okay, fine.
okay, so from the normal word, how do you understand that this is encoded? So that's why they have prefix. They have designed it that way, prefixed with B.
Okay, okay.
And sometimes you'll see prefixed with R also. It's called rastring. That has a different meaning. Okay, don't worry about it.
Mm,
But B means you just understand that the coding is changed.
okay.
Yeah. And expand tabs also, you don't worry. You rarely get to use that. Okay. Find is important. Format is also important. And we'll see the next steps, next methods about. So yeah, format and format map. I'll copy all of these and immediately so that I can paste it from here. Okay. So format you saw. Do you need also, do you need 2 to 3 minutes before we I continue?
Yeah, give me a minute
Sure,
actually.
sure. Let me know. Okay.
I'm almost done. Yeah,
Sure,
I'll
sure,
let you know.
sure. And Nida, what about you? You're also able to type.
Yes, sir, I'm able to.
Okay.
Sadik,
Yeah.
when I try to see the format's information,
Mm-hmm.
when I try to see, I mean, uh, when I try to click the shift tab, I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to see that they have some arguments
Right.
like star args,
Yeah.
double star
Yeah.
quarks. What does it
Yeah.
mean?
So those arguments are not for format. Okay. Those are for print statement. Okay. That is one. So what it means is, I'll explain you. I anyway have to explain that when I talk about built-in functions. But okay, because you
Okay.
brought it up. Okay. Let me see. Let me show you. So print statement. Let's just say I want to say, okay, hello there, how are you? Okay, so this is my sentence. If I print it, I'll get like this, right? But if I pass sep, I'm saying instead of separating these words with a space, separate it with a comma. Okay, if I pass like this, I, okay, strange, one second. By default okay. Interesting. Why is it not working? Yeah, invalid syntax, that is supposed to happen. Okay, fine. Okay, 1 second, let me check the example. Why is help of, okay, so you also have a way to check. We also have a help function. Okay, so what it does is, if you type help, you'll get this information printed. Okay, not only a directory, you can also see this.
Mhm.
So here they have to forcibly flush. What is the default space? Yeah, string inserted between values. Yes, that is how it is supposed to be. Okay, 1 moment. Just give me 1 second.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so let me make a minor change. Let me try this maybe. Okay, so now I am passing strings. Okay, but what if I pass? Okay, this is fine. Okay, okay. So basically, like I said, SEP, what it does is, whatever the default space is available in between the words, okay, not in a single word, because single word is immutable. The way how I had written was, I had everything in one quotes, right? So when you put everything in one quotes, it's a one single sentence or one single word. Okay, but sep is used to separate the individual words, not a sentence. So that's why it didn't work. Now that we have separated all these words with a space, it is going to replace with whatever the value we pass. So that is sep for you. Okay, and here it is not doing, here it is not adding the dash, because this entire thing within quotes is one single, treated as one single string. That's why it doesn't add there, but it adds here. It replaces comma with whatever we want here. If you want to add star, so it will do that. That is set. Okay, and interestingly, there is one more thing. Okay, um, let me add that here. So instead of sep, now what I want is end. End by default is new line. Okay, but I'm gonna change. End is, let me say, okay, because I'll have to have multiple sentences. 1 second. So I will have to type multiple sentences in order to get that end. Something like this. Hello, how are you? End equals to backslash t, and also one more sentence. Um, let's have breakfast, something like this. Okay, okay. I'll tell you what is happening. So this end, no. Let's just say you had one sentence only here. Irrespective of what you have here, it by default at the end of the sentence, it adds a new line. What it means is, after printing these all these values like this here, it will automatically go to the next line. Okay, even though you don't specify, because the default parameter is slash n. So for example, here, if you notice, there is already a slash n, which means it will go to new line. That's why it prints the lines in two different lines. Why? Because we are telling it, even though we are not specifying it, it is already defined. The behavior is already defined, asking it to go to next line. But if you modify that behavior with a tab, now I'm telling, okay, don't go to next line to print the next line. Instead, just add a tab to print the next line. So that is what it is doing here. So 8 spaces are added. If you specify, okay, don't want does many, just add one single space, it will add one single space. So that is the behavior of end. So sep is used to separate the individual words, end is used to modify the behavior of new line, whatever the new line is defined there, that is handled here. Now file is, as you can see, if you want to print certain thing to your console, for example here, if you want to print certain things from a file, that is when you use file. This we will talk more on the when we talk about files, input output files. Okay, flush is, it will delete, after printing it will delete whatever is stored. Okay, so that is what flush is for. So those are the parameters. Okay, any doubts here with sep and
No, no, fine, fine.
yeah? So we will anyway talk about this when we talk about functions. We'll talk about built-in functions as well as how to write a custom function. There we will cover this. Okay, for now, because our concentration is on strings, we will continue with that. Now string format map, the difference between format and format map is, with format you could add whatever the values you had inside this, right? But sometimes you'll have values in the form of dictionary. Again, we are dictionary, we will talk about it. But for now you just understand dictionary means some key value assignment. For example, name is mapped to Mr. John. Okay, that is a person's name, and his age is, like, let's just say 50 years. Now what we are saying is, print details of details of Mr. John. Print name of, I'll just type name is Mr. John, and his age is so and so. Dot format map. So here what is happening is, if you want to pass, let's just say you have a dictionary like this, you have a database like this where you have lot of details, but you want to print them in as a part of um, dictionary. From the dictionary you're fetching the values and you're printing directly simultaneously in one go, you're printing. In order to do that, what you do is, so this details you're printing, but from the details you're fetching the name, you're adding it here, and the age you're printing it here. So basically this is another way of printing. Instead of manually typing dot format of name comma age. Okay, that also let me write, maybe that will give a better idea on how this thing works. So here I would type name is, and his age is, dot format of name comma age. But these names and ages should be defined somewhere. Okay, So I will type name equals to Mr. John, and I will type age equals to 50. So if I pass, okay, let me type. Okay, now you understood, right? So format map, if you want to print from a dictionary, you pass the dictionary as a part of format map and specify the keys. We call these as keys. Name and age are keys, Mr. John and 50 are values. So this is just another way of printing. The third way of printing is also with F strings. One of my personal favorites. So what I do here is just type name is, you just type name, and his age is, you just type age. Um, that's it, you get the same result. So you just have to specify this F. Okay, so did you understand this, the usage of format map and format?
Yes, Adik.
Yeah, so just a way of printing. Okay, so index is nothing but, again, if you want, um, dot index, so index will return you lowest index in whatever the string that you specify, and where that substring is found. For example, I had the city name called Gangaikonda Cholapuram. So if I specify where is my L, at what place is the L located in the city, if you count from here left to right, this will be 14th. Index will be 14. Okay, that is what it returns the index basically. Very straightforward. Now these are all these methods are, what you see here, are very easy. Okay, now what you can do is, okay, you type and finish till here, um, and let me know please.
Yeah, done from my side.
Okay, so Nida, were you able to type it?
Yes, sir, I'm also done.
Okay, all right. So all these methods that you see, they are very easy, very fast to cover as well. Is alnum means alphanumeric. So you are just checking if this string consists of alphanumeric characters basically. I think you'll have to specify this inside this. Okay, that's what I feel, but let's see, because some methods are, All right, so let me type. Yep, so you'll have to again type sorry, what is alnum. Okay, so if you type like this, it will return true because it consists of both numbers as well as names. Okay, so all these methods are like that only. So if I type is this alphabet, so is alpha means is it alphabet, that's what it means. And this is ASCII. Is ASCII means does this the encoding that I explained you, does this belong to that encoding. Okay, is digit. Okay, is digit, that's what it means. And is identifier. Identifier means name of a variable, as simple as that. Don't worry much about identifier. Identifier means is it a name of a proper, is it a correct name of variable or not, that's what it means. um, is printable. Okay, for this I will type is printable. Can this be printed? If you execute this, does it print? This is space. Okay, and this is digit. This I will show the other variations of these examples also. um, Again, is numeric, is lower. Okay, is lower, and is upper, right? So is upper means what is upper. Okay, for title, only the first letter should be capital, rest can be small. So you can type is title to check. What else is there? Pretty much is decimal digit. Okay, I think is digit not there, is decimal is the right one, is decimal. Okay, so if you execute all of this, um, sorry, this also has to be in the string because it's a ultimately string methods, right? So makes sense. Okay, this is fine because this is the name of a variable. But everything that is not, that which is not defined has to be executed. See, it returns true for all this. Okay, it is not printing multiple times because each time it prints, the output gets replaced basically, that's why. But anyway, so for all of this, it prints true. So basically, alnum, if I provide for alnum, if I provide um, some other number, like I'll just provide Sadih. I will not provide the alphabetic characters of it. Um, you see, okay. So is alnum means there is alphabet part of it as well as numeric part of it. But if I provide, let's just say underscore underscore, now it is false because underscore is treated as a punctuation, not treated as an alphabet. Okay, so is alnum will return, basically is alnum will return, will check if checks if variable provided, or I would say string provided is either alphabet or numerical. So both the things, if you provide number also, it will return the same thing, or if you provide string, you will get the same thing. Okay, and is alphabet likewise, is alphabet also will check if it's on purely alphabet. But if I provide here is alphabet or is number, something like this number here, dot is alpha, so you'll get false because it is number, it's not alphabet. So likewise you have ASCII values. So if you execute, it is true because like we discussed above, for ASCII's okay, for during encoding, like we discussed, for ASCII's there are certain ways how numbers are converted, right? So this, because it's a numerical number, it is understood in the RC format, so that's why it returns true. So is decimal, again it checks if it is numerical. Basically, if I provide a float value 3.141 dot is decimal, so you will get false, because decimal only checks for whole numbers. Okay, whole numbers means, you understand, right? 0 to infinity, but only in increments of 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that way, so it checks for that. And is identifier is, if it checks if the variable name that you provided, does it follow all the rules. For example, if I say something that starts with 10 key, like we saw in the first class, right? 10 key was one of the examples we took. Is identifier, it should return false. So it returns false because this does not obey the rule of variables. Okay, likewise I'm testing one more here, so that also follows. Basically alphabets, underscore, and numbers. So city is anyway in, city is Gangai Konda Cholapuram, that was our city. I had typed it in lower cases, that's why it gives me true. But if I type city as is upper, it will return me false, because it's not in uppercase, right? All the letters should be in uppercase, otherwise it won't return true. Likewise again, okay, digit was not there, sorry. So likewise we have printable. So printable means anything that can be shown on your output console, basically. That's what it means. Um, but let's just say I had some values here that were not printable. For example, let me see. Uh, let me see if I can get some non-printable values. Values that can't be displayed. Okay, for example, let me try this. So backslash n is what we saw in the print statement, right? Print statement, if we were just talking about it, end is by default backslash n. Backslash n means go to next line, that's what it means. Backslash n means go to next line. Backslash t means go to add 8 spaces. Okay, so backslash n cannot be printed. It's because it's just telling the uh, interpreter to go to next line. That is kind of abstract value, it can't be printed, so that's why it is printable, returns false. Likewise you have is space, returns true. Is upper also returns true here. And is title means only first letter should be capital. Okay, then it will return true. If I add this as small, it will return false. So title means first letter should be true. Yeah, so that's about it. You can start to uh, type. Any doubts you have, you can ask me. Okay, yeah, you can let me know.
Pratik,
Yeah.
what's the shortcut you're using it to insert a new cell? I'm
Oh,
able to see that
yeah,
you're
yeah,
quickly
sure, sure.
inserting a new cell above.
Sure. So just hit escape and press B. B for below. See, all those shortcuts are available here somewhere. Console run keystroke. Okay. So just press escape and hit B. B means below. Go below. That's what it means. And you
Mhm.
also have some show line numbers bolke here. we can enable that. This is a good option. Somewhere here there are shortcuts. I will open and show you. Um, okay, hold on, let me check. Oh, I think you can type it here. Yeah, these are the shortcuts. If you want to go to, if you want to delete a cell, you just twice you press DD. If you want to cut a cell, you can press X, copy a cell C. Likewise, you also have A. If you want to insert above A, insert below B. This also works on Google Colab. Same shortcuts, and it will work only if your cell is highlighted. For example, if this cell is highlighted, I want to add a cell above. I'll press only A. Okay, escape A. If I press escape A, I'll get the cell here. And if I press escape B, I'll get a cell below. A new cell got added again. Okay, so that way. And if I
Okay.
want to delete, I'll just press DD.
Mhm.
One cell got deleted. Yeah.
Can you show me again how you go to that keyboard shortcuts?
Sure. Go to help.
Yeah. Okay.
Show
Okay,
keyboard
shows.
shortcuts.
Okay, okay, fine, fine, fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a lot of them. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, fine.
So
Yeah.
till here
Give us
we
a minute
sure.
to type.
Yeah, yeah. Please take your time.
Almost done. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. Um, 1 second. हेलो मैं क्लास के बीच में हूँ जी हाँ ठीक है सॉरी
Yeah, please continue.
okay so Nida are you also done or do you need me to give you one more minute
No, sir, I'm done.
you're also done okay okay so each title means you'll get true value now join is interesting um, what happens is when you have two words one is city you have highway you have right so if you print you get these values and what join does is city dot join okay I will add highway see what happened okay okay I'll simplify this let me add two only okay fine it has to be iterable um something that is iterable okay so what is happening is I'll again um, this is one example and another example also I'll take and explain so here let my iterable be range of 0 to 5 expected okay it needs string only all right still it should work um, all right there we go hmm. So basically what is happening is if you notice something for each iterable here for each letter here it is going to print the whole name of the city for S it started with S for S it printed the city again for A it printed the city name for again D it printed the city name so that way join is trying to club these two iterables by iterating over this past string. Okay, here
Can
what it
you
is,
change the name to uppercase so that it will be easily
sure,
seen?
sure. Okay. So
Okay.
there is, okay, I can also add one more thing here. Okay, now for each yes you have name of city, again name of city, and for sorry, for space, because you have space here, for that space you have a name of city. Then for a you have a name of city, again space is there, you have name of city. So that way it continues. Basically it will, for each value that you have here, it will print the name of city. It will add, merge both of them and print it. Now here what it is, what it's doing is, when you print, first of all, when you print range of 0 comma 5, okay, um, you get range of 5. Okay, it's taken the, literally taken the values of this. Okay, let me simplify. um, Let me put it like, okay, I want to generate the range using range only so I can show you. Okay, now I got it. So let me do this instead. List of, okay, still not really adding. Okay, fine, I ignore this for now because it's getting complicated. um, so basically what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to generate this, but because it's taken as a string, for this bracket it will print the name of city, again for 0 it will print again comma, so it will get more complicated. So just ignore that for now. So you understood, right? So for each letter that you have, it will print the whatever the city name is here. So that's what join is. You're trying to join two different strings with a iteration. Now let's just say you had that center of,
I think it's 9. Maybe it will
oh yeah, within a minute. Okay,
end the call. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
within a minute it will stop. Let's do one thing, let's end the call and rejoin. Okay.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Okay, I will end the call here. Yeah, thank you.